Hello, YouTube, my old friend. We have Jocasta decks and we meet again. All right, so Jocasta is out. This is day 2 of Jocasta. I'm about to play her on stream. I only played her for a little bit this morning. Yesterday was insane. There was a typhoon. I was stuck at work. It was a whole thing. There will be a story about it in an upcoming video. Just wait on that. But for the time being, I did play a little Jocasta. I watched a bunch of Jocasta while I was stranded at work. And I checked the stats. And Jocasta has thus far been fairly unimpressive. She allows combo decks to really go off. That seems to be what the power of the card is. And she does seem to have made an activate archetype, despite that not being expected by many top players. She's made the Invisible Woman for a steps deck a lot better, but only in one particular instance. We're going to talk about that, what version of it has worked with Jocasta. We're going to talk about the Activate deck, and we're going to talk about a theory craft that I haven't seen anyone try. That's going to be what I play on stream, basically, as soon as this video goes live. So let's kick it off with the first deck, which is Safetybot. This is the deck Safety actually ended up playing, not the one that we featured yesterday, which was also a safety deck, but once the rubber met the road, he ended up on this version. He took it into Infinite Conquest, and he went 9-1, which means he won an Infinity Conquest and then lost in Game 5 of one Infinity Conquest. He says he may have won another. I couldn't find the stats. He made his profile private, and he's a pain in my butt. But it's possible he's 14-1. He seems to have implied he won another Infinity Border with it, but that's where we are. This deck is not that different than what we were playing before. It basically just says I'm sticking Jocasta in that extra 2-drop slot. That extra slot has held many. Oh, sorry, this is actually in the extra 1-drop slot. That 1-drop slot was off in Black Hat. Now it's Jocasta. Perfectly fine. We're not bothering with Fantastic Art. We are keeping the Mercury Herbie in our 2-drop slots. Herbie replacing either the Kate Bishop in some versions, or whatchamacallit, help me here, brain, or the Merlin as other cards, or Surge as other cards in the deck. We're running, instead of those, we're running Herbie, because Herbie gives us an extra activate for Invisible Woman for steps, and there's a lot of power, obviously, in having that extra activate trigger. Something else for Jocasta to do should you not see Invisible Woman. You can find Safety streaming at twitch.tv/safetyblade. This deck needs Invisible Woman for steps and Athena. Think for steps and Stardust can be Fantastic Heart, Danger, or Omega Sentinel. Safety says Fantastic Heart is bad. I don't believe him. Hydra Bob can be Sunspot or Spider-Ham. I am more and more inclined to think Sunspot is really good, if not in this build. This build runs things for steps. If you don't have things for steps, Sunspot is much better. Getting 4 triggers on Sunspot, even with only like 2 energy is an 8 power card, 3 energy is a 12 power card. That seems worth it to me overall. But Bob is still pretty damn good. You're not set to have him. Bob is amazing for Thing, because you can play the Hydra Bob in the Thing lane, and then you can snap. You'll get the kill from Thing, and then Bob will jump away to help you in another location. Jocasta can be Prodigy, or one of the cards it was before. Jocasta gives you a new high roll to the deck, a new way to go over the top of things. Mercury can be Merlin or Kate, but if you don't own Mercury, I guess you can wait till the OTA because it's a week away now. But like, we're at a point where it's probably time to go get Mercury, and then Herbie can be Surge. Herbie as Surge is a card that makes a lot of sense to me. Surge giving you all these expensive cards cheaper, but Herbie is really great here. All right, so Spider-Ham is an activate that is one of our extra activates. We, generally speaking, don't want to trigger Jocasta in the game, so getting the double Spider-Ham is not that great. However, a lot of people are running combo decks right now. A lot of Human Torch stuff, a lot of other end-of-turn stuff. And when you Spider-Ham the right target, you get an auto-snap. Hydra Bob is just decent power. It doesn't actually do anything special here, despite its end of turn. It can jump around twice with Invisible Woman, but eh. Athena and Havoc are what you're running the Invisible Woman Jocasta for. Either one of those getting triggered 4 times is lane winning. That is 3 power each. That's plus an extra 12 power. I mean, that's just it. It's worth running Jocasta to get an easy extra 12 power. That's the entire logic here. Mercury, meanwhile, is a way to counter move. Move is all over the place. Herbie, you are generally looking for when you play Herbie here, if you play Jocasta in that lane. If you're getting to the end of the game and you happen to see energy, you will happily take that. But what you're really looking for is the double or the plus power inside locations. Getting that twice, an extra 4 power inside locations, Herbie all of a sudden becoming a 12, that's worth doing at the end of the game overall. Obviously, Jocasta is here, however, for Invisible Woman, for the Athena and Havoc. Or Athena or Havoc, either one is totally fine. Mobius lets opponents not cheat. Stardust lets opponents not cheat. Herbie lets opponents not cheat. Basically, you're saying if you have to play Marvel Snap, I can beat you. And then you have the unfair Marvel Snap card that is Juggernaut. Juggernaut says I get a lane on the cheap, and the thing says I get a lane that we're both contesting, and there's very little you can do about it unless you're playing something stupidly huge. When you combine all of these, this deck absolutely sings together. This is one of the top 5 decks in Marvel Snap right now without any question or concern. Jocasta really does fit right in. Even if I do think the curve is a little jankier than I'd like it, it's still a very, very strong list. So turn 1 Ham over Bob, turn 2 Herbie over Athena or Mercury, turn 3 Invisible Woman or Jocasta. You generally want to get Invisible Woman down first, but if you do have worries of, I don't know, Super Adaptoid or whatever, you can play Jocasta first. If they take the Jocasta and not the Invisible, okay, next up, we have Invisible Woman, Jocasta, or Stardust. Stardust is obviously a major play. When you play Stardust, like it's a snap condition. When you play Mobius, it's like a snap condition, right? Unless you're just like playing them because you have nothing else. You're playing them over other cards because they're winning you the game and you can snap them. Thing or Athena and Jocasta or Invisible is your turn 5. So if you play Thing alone, that's fine, especially if you don't have Athena. If not, Athena and Jocasta or Invisible Woman is great. Then turn 6, Juggernaut and Havoc and triggers. Sometimes that'll be Thing and a 1-drop and triggers, as the case may be. It's incredibly strong. It's incredibly consistent. This is the meta home of Jocasta. Feel free to go play it. You'll not be sad you did, but that is not the only home for the card, despite the stats being early and low for now. The other deck is going to come from around my neck of the woods. But before we get there, please hit that sub, leave a like, and leave a comment if you are so inclined to help support the channel. It means a lot. B3 head, B5 head. Hit that sub button. In addition, we are giving away our last Vivision this week. Sub, like, comment, you get a Vivision. By the end of the week, we'll be giving away 5 of the new season pass cards, which I believe is Zombie Scarlet Witch. So if you want that, a must-have card for next season, please make sure you leave that sub, like, and comment. Nakactivate. So, all right. This is from Naka, fighting Nagisa. I believe a Japanese player, just an absolute top Marvel Snap player. He's been competitive in major Marvel Snap tournaments. He says that this is cracked, and that's really awesome. The main target for your Jocasta here is going to be Omega Sentinel. You're basically trying to say Omega Sentinel makes the big stuff smaller, and if the big stuff is smaller, danger's better. But what really happens is Ultron can like auto win. It's very hard to get Ultron with Patriot in that game, though, right? Because you're gonna have to play the Jocasta, you're gonna have to play the Omega Sentinel, and then I guess you can play Patriot into Ultron, but like you're more likely to just go with like a Danger or a Scarlet Spider at that point. So like it's nice when you can get the Patriot out in that turn, but like that's not the priority of the deck. The priority of the deck is to use Omega Sentinel to bring down the biggest things the opponent has, and then if you can bring down the biggest things the opponent has, your Ultron should be able to fill in the gaps and win the game. You can find Naka at youtube.com/at. I don't know the kanji there, but if you want to find it, you can. If you know how to type that, please feel free. If you don't know how to type that, if you check out Fighting Nagisa on Twitter, he has the link there. Feel free. Again, this is a top Marvel Snap creator that you should be checking out, even if there is a language barrier. Love that this is a truly global game. This deck needs Danger, Scarlet Spider, Surge, and Omega Sentinel, along with Jocasta. We could perhaps take out Scarlet Spider, but Scarlet Spider, or especially double spiders, is pretty damn good with that Patriot if you don't see the Ultron. Right, excuse me. Iron Lad can be Jubilee. You do take up an extra space that way, but we're back to the classic Iron Lad can be Jubilee. Can we make Iron Lad Series 3 already? This is absurd. Herbie can be Awesome Andy, significantly worse, but doable. Herbie's Rock is a really, really good card if you get the Patriot. And I'm curious to try out Astral Projection here, because Astral Projection lets me do Patriot Ultron on the same turn without any other shenanigans. I think that might be better than just running Ultron here, but I'm not 100% sure. The only other on reveals in the deck are Iron Lad, which I will likely have played, Surge and Zabu, and I guess Surge and Zabu are bad hits, so maybe I'm wrong here, but I think I want to try it out. I want to try Astral out. I'm probably going to cut Iron Lad when I try this at first, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So this is a new archetype. This is a successful archetype. If Naka says it's good, then it's good. This is probably hard to play. Remember, your priority is Omega Sentinel Jocasta into Patriot Ultron type shenanigans. There are other ways you can win, but that is your prio. So turn 1, Zabu over Ham. Turn 2, Surge over Herbie. Turn 3, Jocasta over Patriot or Widow. Turn 4 is any 4-drop. Turn 5 is Jocasta or a 4 for 3 plus 2. You can also do Patriot plus 2 here. And then turn 6, drop and activate on Jocasta and trigger all the cards or play Ultron. Deck gross. That's all I got to say. Deck gross. Props to Naka for coming up with the only other build thus far of Jocasta that has really, really worked. I've seen Jocasta in an absolute ton of decks, and the win rates are not high. I think this card is going to be very good, but I think it's going to take more experimentation out of end of turn. And props to Naka for going outside the box with the Ultron Patriot combo in what everyone else is trying. Everyone else has the other cards in this deck, right? Or variations of the other cards in this deck. Naka being able to say, okay, forget all that junk. Instead of all that stuff, what we're going to do is we're going to go Patriot Ultron, and that's going to be our finisher, is a great, great idea. Come check me out on Twitch. I should be live right around when this video goes live at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I will also be live right here on the YouTubes, so make sure you're part of it. Finally, now that she's out, is Jocasta worth it? Has your opinion changed since yesterday? Yes, no, maybe? Curious to hear what you think. All right. Finally, we have My Brew. This is one of the things I'll be playing on stream. This is a takeoff of Eggy's old move deck. I don't know if you remember Eggy, but Eggy, for a while, everyone thought move was dead, and then figured out how to make Fanfei Topaz, and at the time, Zorn really, really solid. I don't think we want Zorn now. Jocasta takes Zorn's spot, but this deck was already running Aranya and Fanfei, and that's 2 activates. Sparky gives us 3 activates. I feel like 3 activates is enough to make Jocasta completely broken. It's enough to make Human Torch almost immediately stupidly huge. It's enough to make Sparky completely, completely insane with even a card like Dagger. We can also, and this is the big one, we can use Jocasta with Fanfei. We can trigger Fanfei, then Heimdall, then trigger Jocasta, and get cards in all sorts of different places, even keeping a card in Fanfei to win that lane. Like, I think that's going to be really, really strong. This one's going to be really cool. So this needs all the activates. We do need Topaz here, I'm pretty sure. And Jocasta and Sparky. The whole reason to play this is that we're trying Jocasta out in it. It's possible that Topaz can be Hellion. I think Topaz is really, really good in this version because you dump Fanfei or Madame Web mid, and then you've got Topaz, and you just sort of go off. You'll see in the turn by turn momentarily. So Aranya, trigger it twice, give +2, and then move it twice is obviously very strong. That is a really, really powerful late game thing to do, right? I think Jocasta is enough, nearly enough just with that. That immediately will make Vulture, for example, a 1/5, 1/6, 110. Right there, 110 Vulture. Good thing. We are running all 3 of the move powers, Vulture, Dagger, and Torch. Madam Web gives us an extra move. I am partial to Madam Web mid. We're going Madam Web or Fanfei mid here. That is our goal because Topaz will shove cards there. We can easily shove Topaz into Vulture, into Trigger Aranya to push something mid and then one further right if we're so inclined, if we want to put Madam Web to the far right if we see all those cards. For whatever card. Vulture is just an example. Sparky puts things back where they were with +3 power. Obviously insanely good with Human Torch. Also really, really slept on with really, really, really slept on with Dagger. If we can move Dagger around, giving her +3 multiple times, she's a lane winner, especially again with, you heard it, Jocasta. We can also split what we use Jocasta on using this, what we use Sparky on using Jocasta. A double Sparky, 1 on Dagger, 1 on Human Torch is totally doable. Cloak is for games where we don't see Fanfei and we just want to set up the Heimdall. Feel free to use Cloak to get things to the right. Again, Hellion is perfectly fine. Cosmo, because look at the points on this deck. We should have Prio. We need protection from counter cards, and we don't have room for Alioth. Plus, if the card I'd really want to run here is Tribunal, not Alioth anyway, I think. From there, Human Torch is just the biggest thing in the game. It's the best card in the game right now. You should probably be playing some Human Torch decks. Jocasta, we talked about all 3 uses already. Aranya for the double move. Sparky for the to separate what we use Sparky on, or double move. We can also separate what we use Aranya on, or Fanfei for combos with Heimdall, which again seems really strong. We can also, by the way, drop Fanfei on Jocasta on, say, turn 5 and immediately trigger it, which seems kind of insane, right? Like, or on turn 6, we want to play Fanfei because it's decent stats. We do that on top of the Jocasta, and we're just like, oh, look, all of a sudden, all my cards are 1 to the right. Your opponent did not see that coming, right? That kind of thing seems crazy strong. And then, of course, we have Heimdall, who is just a big finisher. All right, so Aranya, turn 2, Web over Sparky. Turn 3, Topaz over Torch over Jocasta over other movers. Turn 4, Fanfei over movers. Turn 5, movers or Cloak. And then turn 6, Heimdall and trigger Jocasta and Sparky. I don't know. That seems like it's pretty good to me. We went over all this in detail on the previous slide. Hopefully the turn by turn is something you can write down that can help you out a lot. If you can, hey, that makes me happy. All right, I think this deck is gross. I'm going to be playing this on stream in a couple minutes. Let's freaking go. That's it. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on air. Thanks. Thank you to Jonesy Snapped, 22, who is back. The triple threat return today. Go check it out. Abigail Giesland, mandatory burnout, it regardless. LEB Inc. I am Frostman. Jota Navarrete, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, or Ryan Wood, Snap, Ren Wrench, Gopher Kev, Keltor, Caretixley, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel, 3K, Black Dahlia, Profros. Sorry, I got a useless email that for my old job. Archangel, 3K, Black Dahlia, Profros, the Goat Seeker, Code, Hallowed Synth, Faduk, Absolute Shannon, Dirte, Casual, Dark Moogle, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cable, Ginger Prime, Philly, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Ginger Zone, The Biz, Black Tubes 23, Extra Sweet, and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Slush Death, The King of Bros, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kevsey Yoda, Clam, Colonel Foreman, Rob Silver, David G. Wingfield, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Matt V. Ray, Sean Smith, Chickadee, Charles, Washington, Chucky. I don't know why Chickadee Charles is. I don't like that one. Corbin, Junkie, and Jim McHugh. Gist out, One Big Bang, Cactus, Reapser, Steve-O, Wonder and Yorko, Tebro, and Crypto Joe, along with Snap Decisions Joe, Biggity Boom Bop, Bricks 2 Click, Green Goblin, Blonde 56, By Uni, Spectrum X, Hoot, Only Fox, Matt H, TJ Maghadjix, No Frickin' Flex, Nick the Greek Geek, Toxic Soul King, Zajic 74, The King of Canada, JJ, Denman Falcon, Fothler, Noon, Two Tides, Great Lord Devs, The Pirate King Tucker, and of course, we got Gunny T. The T stands for going live. Come join me. Come hang out. I think you'll have a good time. And then we'll probably record tomorrow's Snap Judgments while we're there. So extra good time. Peace.